All right, so I didn't get to review either of these, and I just wanted to review them for you guys. And this is the Temple of Gainz leg extension and then hamstring curl. Now, I'm gonna say the directions were pretty tough to follow, but I'm a knucklehead, so I would give the manual like a 6 out of 10 because it was like, this is the manual, and then it was like, scrap the manual, follow me. But it did make a lot of things a lot easier to put together. But as far as the hamstring curl goes, it switches from hamstring curl to leg extension. So right here, just pops up. The way that it feels commercial grade, like it feels really good. But right through here, it's a little tough for some people to get into it. I don't really mind it because I like a snug tightness. But this rail right here will hit your feet. And as far as the stretch position goes, it gives a really good stretch. And then right through here is the weird part where it rolls up and down. I think that position would be good, but some people are like a hit or miss on it. But it's not necessarily bad. I think the shorter you are, you're gonna have a harder time with it. And then anybody like 6'3", but not necessarily either, like you'll be pretty fine. This one I like to set at a 1 or 2 and then just go at it. I can go pretty heavy here. I don't know why it's not some, yeah, I like it on a 1 because I like that stretch position. And a lot of people complain about not having the back support, but for the leg extension, like you don't need back support because you can get as big as a stretch and you're good. And even in commercial grade gyms, like you could lean all the way back and still hit a leg extension, you're good there. There's just no freedom over here, so don't get trapped in there. And then the weight stack is great. Like you don't really need to max it out. I probably could max it out, but if you get too strong, like you can always go single leg, but the leg extension does bring the burn. The hamstring curl, you gave a little bit away for the leg extension to be this good. Let me just show you. So sometimes it curls up on people too high. But as far as the work, like you can still get a lot of work on here. The only thing is it's gonna heat up your lower back because nobody seems to be able to keep their hips flat on here without bracing too hard. But still, the quality is dope. The way that it feels, tightness, everything. So right here, and then curling. So you get a big contraction. It just rolls up on some people a little too low, so they have to scoot down, or a little too high, so they have to scoot up. But as long as you hold down tight and pull, you're good to go. Now, this one was a lot easier to set up, I'm not gonna lie. But there was some things that were a little bit harder. It's a 2-people job, only for the last part. But I did get lucky with the foot plate. The foot plate was pretty heavy. But this pendulum squat is like better than a lot of commercial gym pendulum squats. Now the reason is that it has a lot of advantages on the foot plate. It goes up, goes back and forth, and then the quality is there. There's no doubt about it. And then like, you really can't put a lot of plates on here. So that's kind of the good part because it's such a hard exercise that like when you go real heavy, like it's pretty tough to do. So it'll last you a long time. But nobody's really had lower back issues on this thing or anything like that because you can really just push your lower back as hard as you want into the pad. You can plummet into depth. You can add bands. There's a counterbalance. It's kind of crazy how good this machine is. And square footage wise, I would have wasted a lot more square footage if I would have gotten a leg press because just the bearings alone are super long and the foot, yeah, just the amount that it would have taken away would have been longer. And I could literally shove this into the corner, but it has a little bit of leeway and I still have room for everything. But I'm probably gonna just push back a little bit more now that I made this video, it reminded me. But looks, it's a 10 out of 10. Function, 10 out of 10. Functionality on the other side, I'd say like 7 out of 10. I would say 8.5. I give it an 8.5, except for the hamstring curl. Hamstring curl, functionality, like you're gonna have to pull up with a seatbelt on here. But this is good. Got safeties, This is where you can move that foot plate, and it's real easy. Back and forward, and then you can lift the foot plate right back here, pretty easy. You can go almost vertical on here, which is good for the ankle mobility to really push that. And get a lot of knee flexion to build the quads. Go right through here, feel nice and secure, and then you're gonna push. It unracks itself sometimes. You can tighten up here, but then you make it maybe too tight, but then you can just plumb it to the bottom in a secure fashion. So for bodybuilding, I think it's not that beneficial, only because the eccentric is cut out of the movement. So it's a big concentric movement, so it's hard to come back out of the hole. But I'm not gonna lie, like I get way more pumps on here than like a heavy leg press. Maybe I'm going too heavy, maybe I need to sink it more and go for more repetitions. And I don't feel any lower back when I start going heavy, and I just feel those quads working. But yeah, that's my review. Temple of Gainz, very high quality machines, very aesthetic. They just look great. I can't complain. They're just top of the line and they look great. They kind of mimic like the lifestyle fitness. Highly recommended.